it turned out, the holiday season was very good for the Golden State Warriors. They were mostly nice and only a little bit naughty. And now, yes, we do dare say it, the Warriors are on a roll. Tonight, they'll face a whole nest of brand new Charlotte Hornets. And look out, because these Hornets have been stirred up with a heavy infusion of civic pride and a strong dose of Celtic tradition. Yes, these Hornets play hardball. The Golden State Warriors have finally started the field right at home down inside the San Jose Arena after starting 1-6 here. The Warriors have now won 7 of their last 9, including 3 in a row at home. Tonight they look to keep it going as they take on the pleasant surprise from Carolina, the Charlotte Hornets. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to an evening of Golden State Warriors basketball on Sports Channel with Jim Barnett. I'm Greg Papa. The last outing for the Warriors, Jim, last Friday night, a wildly entertaining game in which they outlasted the Philadelphia 76ers by a score of 122 to 114 individually. So many guys had huge games, but how do you not start out talking about Chris Mullin, who picked up his 4th career triple-double, and Latrell Sprewell, who nearly picked up his first, Jim, by scoring 39 points along the way.
Well, let's start with Sprewell. He scores 18 of those 39 in the 4th quarter when the Warriors needed it. They got down by 5. You just come to expect it from this guy this year. He is now 4th in the league in scoring just under 25 points a game. He gives you 5 rebounds a night. He's 20th in the league in assists. He just simply does a lot for this basketball team, and I really think he enjoys shouldering a lot of the responsibility. But Chris Mullin, he's been consistently brilliant the entire year. 3rd in the league in field goal percentage at 56%. He's also shooting 44% from three-point range. He's just been so consistent, all-around good game, always thinking ahead. One of those rare players that you have to have a lot of minutes from.
The Mullin numbers really have been a huge surprise this year, Jim. This the year of the missed shot in the NBA, where the average field goal percentage is less than 45%. As Jim mentioned, Chris is shooting 56%. We sat down with Mully a couple of moments ago and we asked him, why are you playing so well this year?
I think I'm healthier now than I've ever been. And not so much the hand injuries, because there are things that go away, but I think during that time, being in and out of the lineup, and when I was out, I was killing myself to get back. By the time I got back, I was so tired physically. You know, I would work out 3 times a day on my own just to stay ready. And then, you know, sometimes I was out 3 and 4 months. That's an awful lot of stuff to do to your body when you're not even playing.
Now to the Charlotte story, and yes, they do have a basketball team in Carolina, not just Kerry Collins and the Panthers, Jim, but we talked about the Hornets for years being a team that tried to outscore people, run and gun, but now with new head coach Dave Cowens, they are playing hardball, and the whole tone is being set by the former Knickerbocker, Anthony Mason.
Well, don't you think that Dave Cowens loves the way Anthony Mason plays basketball? First of all, a tremendous defender. He can go out and guard the 3, the 4, or the 5 spot. But Anthony Mason is a guy that comes to play every night. He leads the NBA in minutes played, over 43 minutes. He leads this team in assists. He's just a tough, hard-nosed ball player, doesn't back down from anybody. But these guys, Del Curry and Glenn Rice, they're 2 leading scorers. Del Curry, perhaps the quickest release in the NBA. Tremendous 3-point field goal shooter, always has been. Dangerous off the bench as a 6th man. Glenn Rice can shoot from 35 feet downtown. He leads his team in scoring. He made his first All-Star appearance last year. These guys combined for 60% of all 3-point field goals made by the Hornets.
And these guys are playing well. They were picked by many to finish next to last in the Central. They are 17 and 14 overall. The Warriors, having won 4 of their last 5, are 12 and 18. We'll come back, join Brian Weber inside our Sports Channel studios.
Golden State Warriors basketball on Sports Channel is brought to you by Chrysler. Take a test drive at your Northern California Chrysler Plymouth dealers today. By Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. By the Discover Card, proud partner of the Smithsonian's 150th anniversary. And by the California Lottery. Is it you? Is it me? Who's next?
With Jim Barnett, Greg Papa back inside the San Jose Arena. Not the gathering tonight we had here Friday for Allen Iverson and the 76ers. Here's the Charlotte Hornets starting lineups, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Glenn Rice will start at small forward, Anthony Mason, the intimidating, imposing one at power forward to match up with Joe Smith. In the middle, the smiling Serbian, Vlade Divac. The Hornets have an injury tonight. Muggsy Bogues will not play due to back spasm, so Anthony Goldwire will make the start at the point guard, and Tony Smith will be starting for the Hornets and head coach Dave Cowens to match up specifically with Latrell Sprewell. Good look at Cowens at age 48. His first year coaching the Hornets. He did coach the Boston Celtics in a player coach capacity in the late 70s and went 27 and 41. He was a three-time All-NBA defender as a player, Jim, and that is where he has had the impact on the Charlotte Hornets this very first year.
Dave Cowens came into this league. He was undersized for the center position, but he simply overachieved. They overachieved. 2 championships in 74 and 76. Ironically, in 73, he led the Celtics to 68 wins, but that's when the New York Knicks knocked him off and won the NBA championship. But tough-minded guy, no nonsense, not afraid to dive to the floor and skin a knee.
And even though the Knicks won the title in 72-73, Cowens was the league's most valuable player that year. The Warriors starting 5. Chris Mullin at small forward with Joe Smith at power forward. Todd Fuller will make the start once again, his 3rd in a row, but Felton Spencer is available to play off the bench tonight. In the backcourt, Mark Price returns as a starter after playing off the bench Friday in the win over the 76ers due to a disciplinary reaction from the previous day's practice when he had a run-in with the coaching staff. Rick Adelman, though, although he has suspended Danielle Marshall in the last week, and Danielle is back for the ball game tonight, and he had the minor problem with Price, the Warriors have been playing very well. Not only have they won 4 of their last 5, but after getting off to a 3-10 start since Thanksgiving, the Warriors have gone 9-8. And more good news. As we mentioned, Felton Spencer returns. He injured his left big toe the day after Christmas in Dallas. He has missed the last 2. He says he can give the Warriors about 15 minutes tonight in a backup center capacity. Warriors an overall record of 12 wins and 18 losses. Latrell Sprewell, after a dizzying performance here on Friday night when he scored 22 points in the 4th quarter and the overtime, on his way to 39 and a near triple-double.
You don't have Alonzo Mourning, but this is not a bad replacement in Vlade Divac. Anthony Mason, he's going to give you 43 minutes of tough ball every night.
Hugh Evans will toss it up. He's our lead official. Divac and the Hornets win the tip, and they will go first with Anthony Goldwire playing at the point guard for the injured Muggsy Bogues. Bogues out with a back problem tonight. Has had a very severe knee situation the last couple of years. Glenn Rice the first miss, and the rebound squirts out to Mark Price. Goldwire picks up Sprewell. Goldwire only 6'2", and Tony Smith is on Price. A switch created. They will flip-flop defensively. Joe Smith's first shot goes. Joe has been just brilliant during this stretch in which the Warriors have won 4 of their last 5. Tough matchup for Sprewell. Glenn Rice is so tall at 6'8" and so long. Stayed with it, no violation, and Glenn Rice scores. Glenn Rice, one of the hottest players in the NBA. His last 3 games, he has put up staggering numbers. The Warriors come out quickly.
Greg, there are a lot of shooters on the court tonight that can put up staggering numbers in a very short time.
Mark Price chipped in 18 against the Sixers on Friday. Divac's a good passer, and a Tony Smith. They were teammates with the Lakers for many years. Rebound to Sprewell. Now Tony Smith will pick up Sprewell. Tony's a very good defender, but Sprewell goes right at him so quickly, and a foul is called on Tony Smith. It'll be a non-shooting foul. The Warriors will inbound with a 4-2 advantage. Mullin, his first shot is a miss. He opened the game on Friday by making his first 7 shots in the first half. Here's Anthony Mason going right at Joe Smith, and he draws a foul. What a play by Anthony Mason as he cleared the rebound and went, Jim. Here's the matchup Sprewell's going to have a hard time with because Rice is so tall and long.
Sprewell got a hand on the ball, but Rice just simply stayed with the play. Long arms, and a shooter's mentality. If you noticed on that last drive by Mason, he made his initial move to the right, then spun back. As a left-hander, he would prefer to drive to the right. Almost like Joe Smith. If he plays well, the Hornets win. Same way with Joe and the Warriors.
Anthony Mason coming from New York on July the 14th along with Brad Lohaus, and he was weighed by the Hornets. They gave up Larry Johnson. Sprewell with the miss. Rebound pulled by Mason. He's their top rebounder and the NBA's 15th best at almost 10 a ball game. Into Divac. Warriors double team him. Right back into Vlade, and they double him again. Into Anthony Mason, single teamed. And he'll take it on Joe. Todd Fuller helps. Mason stays with it. Fuller blocks him again.
Heck of a play by Fuller. He simply stayed with the play and avoided a foul.
Mullen open inside. Price delivers. Now they double Mullen. He comes out the weak side. We play 2 minutes and 20 seconds in San Jose. Tied at 4. Joe Smith against Anthony Mason.
And I'm not so sure that he
banks it in.
That's a heck of a shot by Joe Smith. But he did not have an advantage over Anthony Mason. Maybe a little taller, but Anthony can defend much taller players with his body strength. Somehow he just avoided some contact there and had enough room to see it put up a little higher to get it off the glass.
This is the first time that Anthony Mason has been asked to guard Joe Smith. Last year, when Mason was a Knickerbocker, it was Charles Oakley that matched up with Joe. Joe off to a quick start. He has scored 5 of the Warriors' 7. Warriors not doubling Glenn Rice. Now they slide over with Joe Smith. Hornets can really stroke the outside 3. Goldwire, in fact, leads them in three-point shooting. He fires one up long. Rebound to Mason. Hornets are not a good rebounding team. In fact, they are the second worst rebounding team in the league behind only Dallas. But Mason is the guy you have to be concerned about. Joe Smith took it back. Goldwire couldn't get out of the jam. Todd Fuller over at Vlade Divac.
Fuller is recognizing in this league you need quickness and you need to adapt and adjust, and he's doing that a lot better.
20-second timeout called by Dave Cowens. More of a medical problem as point guard Anthony Goldwire, I think, got poked in the eye, certainly somewhere in the face.
On this last play by Charlotte, let's watch Anthony Mason and watch how he works down low to get inside position for an offensive rebound. First of all, he's in the lane right now, and nobody is boxing him out. You see how he clears out and moves people with his body? He's got such a low center of gravity. He's stocky, and he just gets position and then comes to the ball. Now here's Fuller, first of all, streaking to the open spot. A little transition as he thought the ball was lost a moment ago.
Here's where Goldwire gets hit in the eye by Joe Smith as Joe puts the thumb right into one of Goldwire's eyes, and Goldwire is forced off the floor. He's being attended to by the Hornet trainer, Terry Koffler. So rookie point guard Tony Delk out of Kentucky is in. Delk has struggled this year, but he knocks down a three-pointer. That's one area of his game that has not been struggling. Delk now 10 of 16 as a pro beyond the line. He was a very good three-point shooter for Rick Pitino last year at better than 44% as the Wildcats won the national championship.
You got to realize that with all these guys on the Hornets, they shoot 40% collectively as a group. Joe Smith off to a great start. And I would think opportunity shots. That's why Cowens has this little low post offense, just inside-out game, because he's got tremendous threats from the three-point range.
There's Tony Smith, the fade over Fuller. Vlade Divac inside, able to shove it back in. The Hornets are hurting the Warriors on the offensive boards. Mason and Divac in particular. Mark Price a 3. 14-11, the Warriors lead, having hit 6 of their first 8 shots. Now, overall, the Hornets are a much improved outfit defensively this year, Jim, but night to night they can be very inconsistent on the end of the floor still, as Glenn Rice turns and scores over Sprewell relatively easily.
Yeah, last year this team gave up to their opposition 49% field goal percentage. That won't hack it for you. They finished the season 41 and 41. But this year, a little over 45% they're giving up.
And here's the biggest reason why, Anthony Mason. Oh, shot blocked by Joe Smith against Tony Smith. What a play by Joe.
There's Price had a 3.
Mullen, what a clever look into Fuller.
A moment ago I said about Fuller recognizing situations. He had no idea Mullen was going to give it back to him because he could have taken a step in a second earlier. He'd have had an easy shot.
Lob into Rice, miss. Nice pass by Divac, though. It squirts out to Delk. Into Mason, wide open in the right corner is Rice. Mason will not throw the ball.
He'd rather
kicks off of Mullen's foot.
Mason would rather have his back to the basket and work with the ball dribbling rather than shoot a face-up jumper.
Timeout called by Rick Adelman here. Exciting first 5.5 minutes. The Warriors lead the Hornets 14-13. Looking at our Discover Card NBA notebook note of the night, the Warriors are up against the 5th best passing team in the NBA and the Charlotte Hornets. Anthony Mason, Vlade Divac along the front line, outstanding passers. Here's the Hornets' leading assist man again this year, and almost 7 a game, Muggsy Bogues, but he is out tonight with back spasms. He has missed 8 previous games this year due to a sore left knee. In fact, there were reports earlier this year that Muggsy was going to have to retire from the game, but in large part because of successful acupuncture treatments, Jim, Muggsy Bogues is still out there playing, although not tonight.
And Dave Cowens really likes him, up-tempo guy that fuels their offense. Muggsy missed 76 games last year. They brought in Michael Adams, Kenny Anderson, let him go in free agency, and that's why they're hoping that Goldwire can back him up, and Tony Delk. But both those guys, Goldwire and Delk, are simply point guard position size-wise, but they're shooting guard mentality.
Anthony Mason scored a moment ago to give the Hornets their first lead of the game. Illegal defense then called on Divac of Charlotte. Ball tipped out here. The Warriors retained the possession. Anthony Mason matching up with Joe Smith. Sprewell up over Tony Smith. Knocks down a 3. He's really been shooting his three-point attempts well this year, Jim.
If you look at Sprewell, all over the field, from field goal percentage down, he just keeps improving with each 3 or 4 or 5 ball games. He was shooting 34% early in the season. He just moved that up to around 44 now.
Here's a quick foul called inside. That is against, I believe, Anthony Mason of the Hornets. Yep, it's on Anthony Mason. That's his first foul of the game. Dave Cowens, one of the most intense competitors of the 1970s. And he is coaching one of the most intense competitors of the modern game, Anthony Mason, although very different styles. There's a foul on Divac, pushing Todd Fuller. Divac picks up his second early foul of the game. And he's not at all pleased. He's likely going to have to leave the game with 2 fouls in 6 minutes.
Sprewell couldn't quite squeeze down the lane, but Vlade leaned just enough, took a step to try to help out, and Sprewell gave the bounce pass, and Todd had just a little bit of daylight.
Todd Fuller, a little extra motivation tonight. Of course, he went to high school in Charlotte, went to Charlotte Christian High School his senior year. He was coached by former NBA star Bobby Jones. This game is being televised back to the Charlotte area. Warriors up 18-17. Quick pop by Glenn Rice at 3. Rebounded by Mullen. Foul on Tony Delk.
You know, you're talking about Anthony Mason a moment ago and what kind of competitor he is. Cowens already told him, he said, look, we already have the book on you. We may have to suspend you for a few games, but you know you're going to get something out of him the games that he does play. He is a guy not afraid to voice his opinion. If you give him 38 minutes a night, he wants 40. If you give him 40, he wants 42. You give him 42, he wants 44. That's the kind of competitor he is.
Vlade Divac, just about the exact opposite. What's with the tattoos? You know, just about every guy in the NBA has a tattoo. That's a new item for Vlade Divac.
I've got a great idea for our television roundtable show. Just get a lot of pictures of tattoos and see if we can guess
who they belong to.
Who they belong to.
That looked like a Panther. Vlade Divac's obviously into the Carolina Panther story. Nice play by Mullen. With another clever steal, Sprewell comes bolting forecourt. Fuller, a little slow on the catch and release, but he got it up and missed it. Mark Price. A three-pointer by Price. Warriors 22, the Hornets 17 as they come out bombing tonight. The Warriors have hit their first 3 beyond the line and 2 by Mark Price.
The game against Philadelphia was fun, but there are shooters all over the floor tonight. It could get pretty interesting later on.
Anthony Mason not known as a shooter. That's just about at the outskirts of his range.
But he's got the hot hand tonight.
He's got 10 points already.
Yeah, he's hit his last 2 jump shots, so now he's got that going for him.
Here's Price against the rookie Delk. He was one of Charlotte's #1 draft picks. The other, Kobe Bryant, they traded away to get Divac, who comes over to help with Springwell. Joe Smith has to fire here. He does not recognize the clock. He did hit the rim in time, but he missed the shot. Joe was unaware of the 24-second clock momentarily until he was made aware of it by the Warrior coaches, in particular Rick Adams. Tony Smith drives and picks up a foul on Todd Fuller. That'll be the rookie's second violation. He'll have to leave here as Felton Spencer will make his return. Felton still has pain at the bottom of the foot, just beneath the left big toe. Really unable to get more of a wrap from trainer Tom Abdenauer because the area is still somewhat inflamed.
That's where you want to wrap the surrounding areas if you can, just to take the pressure off that.
Tony Delk out to Rice. Blocked by Joe Smith. Divac shoves it in again as the Hornets continue to beat over the boards. That will not be an offensive rebound, probably. Just a deflected ball, but Divac was in the right spot.
Well, Divac has great hands. That's what you could get from that last play.
Joe Smith has hit 4 of his first 5. He has 9. The Warriors have hit 9 of their first 15. The Hornets 9 of their first 20. Price bumping Delk, and he picks up a blocking foul.
I thought for a moment he had the breath knocked out of him. I think he believed he had good position, knowing Delk was going to go to the right. Delk led Kentucky in scoring the last 3 seasons. He is a shooter.
Last guy to make that claim, the great Jack Goose Gibbons of the 1970s. Tony Delk, a 3-pointer. That is Delk's second 3-pointer since coming into the game, averaging less than 3 points a game. His first 16 pro games, he has struggled. But not tonight off the bench. Latrell Sprewell with a left hand. Beautifully done by Spree.
He's utilizing his left hand more than any other season this year. He's just getting very confident with it. Made about 5 baskets against Philadelphia with the left hand.
Tony Smith, not known as a shooter, misses the step back. Rebound to Felton Spencer. Look at Sprewell get low and just come off the floor before anybody can get near him. You know Collins doesn't like that. Sprewell just went right down the middle of his lane.
Tony Smith needs help. First of all, he needs to guide and direct Sprewell one direction and then get some help, because it's impossible to stop him when he's coming at you like that.
Oh, Glenn Rice, completely different scorer than Sprewell, but in his own way, equally lethal. And the last 3 games, Glenn Rice has just been piling up huge numbers, 38, 37, and 27 points. Price. Rebound tip, taken away by Spencer momentarily, then punched out to Delk. Delk threw it away, but he was fouled in doing so. And it's on Mark Price, and that's already his second foul of the first 10 minutes. Warriors lead by 1. Latrell Sprewell doing it with the right and also doing it with the left. Having won 4 of their last 5, the Warriors look to keep it rolling tonight against the Hornets. The next 2 games very winnable for the Warriors. The Vancouver Grizzlies and Sharif Abdur-Rahim will be inside the San Jose Arena on Wednesday night as the former Cal star will make his return to the Bay Area. We'll have that game for you Wednesday at 7:30. Then the very next night, the Warriors will be up at GM Place in Vancouver for the second half of the home-and-home with the Grizz. Anthony Mason and Joe Smith have played to a virtual standstill so far. Jim Mason, the rebounding edge, and the Hornets have a rebounding edge so far in this game of 13-7.
And that's one of the reasons, if you've noticed, the Warriors are reluctant to double team tonight. Two things. Number one, if you double team, you leave those lethal three-point shooters out there. They can burn you. Also, when you go and double team and get stretched out on this defense, you're vulnerable to offensive rebounds. And that's happened several times tonight.
B.J. Armstrong and Bimbo Coles enter. Leaving Mark Price and Chris Mullen. George Zedek is in the game for the first time, the second-year pro out of UCLA, and he misses. Also, Del Curry is in. He's the guy running at B.J. Armstrong misses. Joe Smith, the rebound, up over Zedek. Joe Smith has scored a game-high 11 points early tonight. Tony Delk being pressured by Coles.
Smith has a real nice flow to his game right now.
Reaching foul. It's called on Bimbo Coles, sagging down on Anthony Mason. Warriors are over the limit. That'll put Mason on the free throw line.
You see, Joe still has his dribble left. Surprised he didn't face up. But there were people still in the lane defensively. So he just took the little route near the free throw line as he fades away. Just nice, relaxed release.
Anthony Mason, pretty boring with the haircut these days, not going with the sculptured look and the message on the side of the head as he was doing as a Knick, and earlier this year unable to bring his barber down from Queens. He actually was getting his haircut at a barber shop, ironically owned by Larry Johnson, the guy he was traded for, but he's abandoned that message from the side of the head for now. Clinton Spencer with a message that he is back, and he's going for a three-point play.
And he was thinking offense and finishing the entire sequence. You'll see as he just goes up to a shot after a little fake, Zedek gets him right on the forearm. Good concentration. Looks like a guy that could go out and give you 18 or 20 a night, but his career high is still 23.
He said he's good for about 15 minutes tonight. Felton Spencer, first 11 minutes of this game, up and down and very entertaining. The Warriors up 3. Anthony Mason playing the pure point forward now to Curry. Rebound tipped out by Zedek, and it goes to Sprewell. He looks around and fires a three. Joe Smith!
The three came off softly. A lot of times it bounds away. It was just ever so short. It came off softly, timed perfectly by Joe.
We told you a lot about the improved Charlotte defense at the beginning of the broadcast tonight. You've not seen much of it. The Warriors are cooking. Here's a foul in the block.
Again, transition game can neutralize a tough half-court defense. And that's why it's important to get the rebound and run.
Fouled on Latrell Sprewell, his first. Glenn Rice has scored 7 early points. Rice breaking through last year and finally making his first All-Star team after being deserving of that honor a few times during his 6 years in Miami. Warriors swept the season series last year from Charlotte. Being Glenn Rice's first year with the Hornets, of course, he came to Charlotte in the deal involving Alonzo Mourning.
And you saw that free throw percentage from Rice. He's actually an 85% shooter. And his career.
What a play by Sprewell. Sprewell just cooked Tony Smith early in the game, forced him off the floor, and it's going to be almost impossible for Glenn Rice to guard Latrell Sprewell.
Now, Glenn is not a great defender. Tony Smith much better, and that's when Sprewell was burning him in the transition. Now he burns Glenn Rice in a half-court sequence. You know, Sprewell, he's a little more under control than he used to be. He comes to a 2-foot plant, a power plant, and then goes up because he can now go right or left, not committing in the air off 1 foot, where he's just limited in his finishing options.
Mason out to Delk, fumble, goes up anyway. Does that count? Yes, it does. It did not touch the 24-second clock. It came very close. But referee Hugh Evans from midcourt says good, and Benny Adams and Tom Washington, who had better angles along the baseline, do not wave it off. So Delk makes 3 threes in that first quarter. and he winds up with 9 points. Joe Smith, though, big quarter, he had 13, and it's the Warriors who lead by 3 after 12 minutes of play. But it does appear, Jim, as though it is a clean 3, and the ball did not touch the 24-second clock.
Well, you can watch right now. Delk knocks down his 3rd three-pointer of the quarter coming off the bench. It just lazily hits the top of the backboard, doesn't even get near the 24-second clock. And let's explain the rules. The side of the backboard, the top of the backboard are all in play. It is not in play if the ball goes over the top of the backboard. That is a dead ball. If it's the side of the backboard comes back, it's still live. And certainly that was a good play and a good field goal by Delk.
And that was a great first 12 minutes of play, Jim. Those guys put up 37 for the Warriors and 34 for the Hornets, and they combined to turn the ball over 1 time in that first quarter. 1 Charlotte turnover. There goes Sprewell. He slips down, gets the ball out to Joe Smith, and the rebound pulled by Del Curry.
Well, it's early, but this would be a big win for the Warriors because this is a legitimate club. Charlotte has beaten the Knicks. He was in the charging mode. But they have beaten Milwaukee in Milwaukee. They beat Washington twice in Washington. And they've beaten Seattle twice on the road and home, as well as the Lakers and the Detroit Pistons at home.
They've also beaten the Knickerbockers and the Indiana Pacers. They have slipped, though, and lost to teams like the Toronto Raptors and the LA Clippers on the road. They've been inconsistent a bit. Joe Smith leaves, and Ray O's in for the first time. The Warriors commit the game's 2nd, make it the 3rd turnover of the game. A moment ago, Zedek was called for the charge.
Tony Delk made a great defensive play. Oh, what a rebound by O's, just knocked out of bounds. One thing about Dave Cowens, he's got a lot of offensive weapons. But if you don't make an attempt to play defense, you're not going to see many minutes. If you're an offensive-minded player and you've been around for a while, you're going to get a little leeway. But certainly a guy like Delk, somebody like Tony Smith, that's why they know they've got to play defense out there.
Armstrong to Ray O's from the corner. Ray playing very solid basketball of late. Had 21 good minutes in the overtime win over Philly on Friday night. Warriors now with a 5-point lead. Here's Rice. Cowens leaning on that matchup. Rice not making the shots over Sprewell.
He forced that one.
So did Felton Spencer as he threw it away to Delk. Here's Anthony Mason all the way. Blocked by Spencer. Mason also may have forced one there as Rice was wide open on the right wing for a 3, but Mason felt he had the room.
Anthony did not see Felton Spencer. He just thought he could get to the other side of the rim, and Felton wouldn't have that kind of agility. Pretty good close by Felton.
Warriors with 5 early blocks tonight. The Hornets don't have any. That's, of course, where they miss Alonzo. Here's Zedek, and he misses badly. Zedek has struggled this 2nd year, and apparently the Hornets are willing to give him up in a deal. Here's a Ray O's right baseline jumper. Delk sweeps the rebound away from Spencer over to Glenn Rice.
If you can use Felton Spencer as a guy to double team, well, you're not going to double team when the guys just shoot from long range. Glenn Rice may have the longest range of any player in the league. He can knock him down from 35 feet, and he'll take him from 28 feet in a regular game.
That's the 2nd three-pointer of the game. Sprewell trying to answer back. Rebound to Bimbo Cole. Sprewell bumped by Delk. Warriors playing a 3-guard look. Armstrong, Coles, and Sprewell at small forward. Up front, O's and Spencer. Shot clock at 10. Armstrong cuts through. Ball knocked out of bounds off of Charlotte. Warriors shot clock down to 4. George Zedek, the backup center, playing behind Divac. Joining Rice and Mason up front. Curry and Delk in the backcourt. Coles over Delk. They forced 3. The clock was down to 1 when he fired. Good rebound by Anthony Mason. Mason 7 boards along with 12 points.
Now Curry's handling the ball, but he's more dangerous when he doesn't have the ball. Great catch and shoot play.
Zedek goes all the way in. Right around Felton Spencer. Rose comes over to block the shot, but a foul is called on Felton.
Well, Felton is probably the most aware center of the Warriors. Watch him in the middle as he goes down the double team. Now the ball is going to matriculate back out here to Zedek, and then Rayos is going to come help out. Then see Spencer block out on Anthony Mason. Just watch Felton on this whole sequence. There's the release by Rayos, and Spencer just comes inside to block off. And those are the things that Todd Fuller has to recognize and then implement into his game. But Felton is very aware defensively.
Chris Mullen checks back in for the Warriors. Just 1 point in the first quarter. You say the ball was going to matriculate? You're like Hank Stram here. 65 cross power trap, Lenny. Let's go here. We're going to matriculate right down the field.
I have no idea where that came from, but
probably in Oregon when you were matriculating. Game tied at 39. We are 3 minutes into the second quarter.
You got the idea with the arrows.
Bimbo Coles over Zedek, and he knocks it down. Tough shot by Bimbo, and to throw it very high into the air to get it over the reach of Zedek. Warriors up by a hoop. It's been a very tight game. Warriors have led by as many as 6. The Hornets by 1. Mullen blocks Rice. Does Coles have enough speed? Yes, he does.
Great play by Mullen. Equally opportunistic by Bimbo as he just threw the ball ahead to himself. Zedek's got a great hook shot. Didn't make that one, but he's got maybe the best hook shot in the game.
Well, they're flying around this court. You want to see this kind of action at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Here's BJ for 3. 46-39. The Warriors now have a game-high lead of 7 points. Cowan calls out a play. The Warriors have hit 4 3-pointers in the game. They're on a 7-0 run to open up this 7-point lead. Another tough foul on Bimbo Coles. That's 2 fouls on Bimbo.
That's not unusual. This Hornets club allowed 103+ points per game last year. Only 94 this year. But the Warriors right now are eating them up. Look at Bimbo. Watch how he threw it himself ahead, chased it down a little bit, running to the ball. He just outran Anthony Mason and Tony Dell.
Anthony Goldwire back into the game to play, in theory, the point guard position. The Hornets have been somewhat pointless tonight. Without Muggsy Bogues, a variety of guys have taken turns running the offense. Here's their point forward, Anthony Mason. Illegal defense called on the Warriors. It's called on Felton Spencer.
You know, Anthony Mason played some point guard in high school. And, of course, Pat Riley had him multifaceted in New York. I'm not sure he and Don Nelson saw eye to eye. In fact, I don't think they did at all. This guy, Goldwire, 40% of his field goal attempts last year were from behind the 3-point line. He's your point guard. He doesn't have the ability like Muggsy to penetrate.
Well, no block. The Warriors with no block on Anthony Mason. Instead of a jump ball, they call a foul on Rayos.
Well, Rayos doesn't complain. Rayos is extremely quick. Now that is good defense. No hold. Makes up the space. There's nothing wrong with that at all, and everybody's seeing it in the arena here on replay. Would you call that a good block? You know, all the radio shows we do, Greg, did the 2-hour radio roundtable 2 with Tim Roy this weekend on Saturday. So many calls about Donyell Marshall. I'm going to start talking about Rayos. Here's a find. This guy could become a very, very good basketball player. Great instincts.
Donyell unavailable in uniform tonight to play after serving the 1-game suspension. Felton Spencer with a nice basket across the lane. Felton has put on a couple of nice moves early on. He has 4 points. Warrior lead is 48-41. Goldwire out of the University of Houston. And Mullins on Rice. That may be a better matchup than Spree while Chris is bigger.
He picked him from behind again.
Mullen whips it to Rayos. And back up top to Bimbo Coles. Springwell is resting. And the Warriors have opened up a lead of 7. Lost the ball in the pass inside to Felton. Goldwire lost it to Mullen up the floor quickly. Coles cannot save it. I think that ball was going to Felton Spencer.
Absolutely. Mullen was throwing the ball to Felton Spencer, and possibly because of that big toe problem, he's limping right now coming off the court. He simply could not get in transition.
6.5 to go in this first half. The Warriors lead the Hornets by 7. Brian, it's time for our Warrior 50-year 50 Stars choice for tonight, presented by the San Francisco Examiner, the afternoon paper. We talk about not Cool Hand Luke, but the guy the Warriors got in the deal for Wilt Chamberlain, along with Connie Durking. Paul Newman out of Stanford, played his first couple of years with the Syracuse Nationals, and later became the Philadelphia 76ers. Then on January the 15th of 1965, he went to the Warriors in the biggest trade in basketball of the 1960s, when Wilt became a 76er. Newman would play a couple of more years with the Warriors before retiring and taking on a job with the Stanford freshman basketball team as a coach. Inside to Glenn Rice, and a foul is called on the Warriors. And Paul Newman is actually in the San Jose Arena gym tonight. Still has some sons living in the Bay Area, and he was visiting for the holidays. We had a chance to speak with him before the game. A delightful man.
Lives over in Germany near the Black Forest region. Only played 6 years San Diego Rockets. He and I would have been teammates back in 1967. And Paul is working in Russia, and he has leadership conferences and training for teachers in morality and ethics.
And ethics, yeah. In fact, he's living right in the Black Forest in Germany, just outside of the Swiss border. A very interesting man.
He's always been a very conscientious individual. Great outside shooter, very quick guard. He could get his shot off. And, of course, he's best known for that big trade that sent Wilt back east as he came to the San Francisco Warriors along with Lee Schaefer and Connie Durkin.
Glenn Rice tips the ball out of bounds. Anthony Mason with his 15th and 16th points of the game a moment ago. He also has 9 rebounds. The Hornets within 5. Paul Newman has been in the Bay Area since mid-December. He's leaving to go back to Germany tomorrow. Andrew DeClerc misses. And down to the floor hard goes Ray Owes. Rebound picked up by Vlade Divac back into the game. Rice knocks down a three-pointer, his third 3 of the game. Rice has 15 points, along with Mason 16. They are keeping the Hornets within a hoop of the Warriors. Latrell Sprewell, after a long rest, will be coming back in along with Mark Price. Next stoppage of play. Here's Owes up over Mason. Rebound to Divac.
Delk has 3 3-pointers. Rice has 3 3-pointers. We're just going to wait for Del Curry to get on the board.
Hornets are the 3rd best three-pointing shooting club in the NBA, behind only Detroit and Cleveland. Divac even knocking down threes. This is a 2-pointer right inside his range. One of the better outside shooting big men in the NBA. The Hornets on a 7-0 run, and they have now tied the game at 48. Coles. And the shot partially deflected and taken by Anthony Mason. Mason already has a double-double, and we're not even to halftime. Del Curry at 3, and Rick Allen stops play immediately. As Curry and Rice and Tony Delk have combined to make 7 three-pointers tonight. They are 7 of 9 beyond the line, and the Warriors' 7-point lead is gone now as the Hornets run off 10 of the row to go up 51-48. Warriors with a 3-point deficit now as the Hornets have scored the game's last 10 points. Warriors will take on the Vancouver Grizzlies here on Wednesday night. Then on Thursday night, the San Jose Sharks will be in their Shark Tank to take on the St. Louis Blues of new head coach Joel Quenneville, just named the head coach today. He'll make his debut tomorrow night when the Blues host the Edmonton Oilers. Quenneville, a former assistant coach for the Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche, taking over for Mike Keenan.
Del Curry made his first 3-point field goal attempt, the 7th for the Hornets prior to the timeout. Now watch this release. This is real time. That's what you call catch and shoot. Now the difference between Del Curry and Reggie Miller will elevate off the floor and hang and aim that ball and shoot it. Del Curry shoots on the way up. I still think his feet were touching the floor when he released the ball. He's got very quick hands.
Warriors bring Price and Sprewell back into the game. Mullen, a long three with the shot clock down. Mullen has not made a basket in the game yet. He is 0 for 2. Divac storming into Andrew DeClerc, and they called a foul on the backpedaling DeClerc.
Well, that shows you how nimble Divac is. This guy is very clever. 7 years with the Lakers, his stats improved all the time, improved as a player. He didn't slow down at all. That's a good call by the official. He gets himself to the line. Could be a better rebounder. Sometimes he gets a little lazy, but he is talent-laden, very clever, facing the basket or with his back to the basket in a one-on-one situation.
Initially, he was not at all happy with the trade. L.A. became his American home. Of course, he grew up in Yugoslavia as a Serbian.
Dave Cowens talked him into coming to Charlotte.
Foul on Anthony Goldwire here, his first of the game. A little too much pressure on Mark Price. Yeah, he was threatened to retire.
Yes.
Immediately after the trade, he went to Charlotte in the Kobe Bryant deal. Essentially, the Lakers were looking to clear off some cap room to sign Shaquille. Andrew DeClerc with the missed shot. Anthony Mason initially did not like the trade. Having grown up in the New York area in Queens, he did not want to leave the Knicks. But he has settled in, and he likes it now. Late foul call on Joe Smith as he got Joe into the air. So back to the line go the Charlotte Hornets. They have hit 11 of 12 free throws. This will be numbers 13 and 14 attempted. The Warriors have shot only 7 free throws so far in the game. Hornets a very good shooting club. We mentioned the third best three-point shooting club in the NBA. They're also the third best free throw shooting club in the NBA behind the Warriors and Nuggets.
You see where Anthony Mason ends up? Well inside the paint. That's the problem. And you can see Joe did not attempt to get a body on him prior to that. And you've got to work and keep him out of the painted area. It's easier said than done, but when he gets in there, he's in his element, and he can really dice you up with his moves. Very strong. He knew he was going to get to the line. That would be the worst outcome.
He's made all 8 of his free throws tonight. Anthony Mason started that one-hand release last year with the Knicks. Joe Smith goes high and scores. Joe has 15 points, his first 2 of the second quarter. Warriors down 4 with 2.5 to play in the half. Del Curry, that quick release. Mullen was ready for it, though. He was even quicker. Sprewell, Joe Smith into Mullen. Blocked from behind, but not the second one.
Good players react, respond, and aren't fazed by a block shot. Mullen just simply stayed with the play.
And a good look by Joe Smith, giving up the shot to get it deeper into Mullen. Divac no.
Good position by DeClerc. He held position.
Price almost lost the ball. Sprewell retains. Mullen a quick 3. Mullen with a layup inside to get himself going, and now he bombs a 3, and the Warriors have a 1-point lead.
We better start looking at the records right now. Combined threes between 2 teams. It could change tonight.
Sprewell by Glenn Rice. Warriors 5 of 10 beyond the line. The Hornets 7 of 9. Shot clock down to 7. Sprewell against Goldwire. Price open for a 3. Andrew DeClerc in one motion.
That's the second slam dunk converted off of missed 3-point field goals tonight for the Warriors. Earlier, Joe Smith did it on a Sprewell miss.
They double Mason, Goldwire, Divac, Rice. That's the guy they want. Oh, man.
Who can't shoot in the NBA this year?
Just about everybody. 44.8% is the average shooting mark in the league. The guys like Mullen is number 3 overall, and Curry and Rice are well above that figure. Here goes DeClerc getting into it. And the rebound to Anthony Mason. Mason, 18 points and 12 rebounds the first half. Goldwire too quick. He wanted to get the 2-for-1 exchange. The Warriors now, if they pop, may get one themselves. 30 seconds to go. Price will drive it and float one in. Well, I loved Friday's game. Friday's game was so up and down and wildly exciting, Jim, but this first half has been even better.
Can't complain at all.
Coming up at halftime, we'll head back inside the studios, check in with Brian Weber, then we'll come out here and have a very interesting conversation with Hall of Fame player turned coach Dave Cowens. Oh, man, Anthony Mason, who has had his moments of talking back to Coach Cowens this year, has had some first half, 20 points and 12 rebounds. Foul on Glenn Rice here.
That's a mistake.
Yes,
Dave Cowens will not like that. 3.1 seconds to go. Now, the Warriors...
No, they had a foul to give, Jim, so
yes,
they will
did
not have a free throw. It's actually a good play by Rice.
I recant my statement. Very good play. But the Warriors already have totaled 59 points, as have the Charlotte Hornets. The Warriors have 58 against Philadelphia at halftime.
And neither club will get the 60. Curry shot will not count. There is your first half. 53% Warriors shooting. Joe Smith scored 15. Price had 10. Sprewell had 10. The Hornets had big halves from both Mason and Rice. They combined for 38, and we're all even after 2 quarters of play. Greg Papa with Jim Barnett back in San Jose. Producer Vaughn Kilgore had a difficult assignment in that first half. Jim, coming up with just a few halftime highlights brought to you by Chrysler, because the whole first half really was one big highlight.
It was a good highlight show, and mainly in the hands of Glenn Rice and Anthony Mason for the Charlotte Hornets as they went on a rampage. But early on, the Warriors had numerous block shots. Mullen picked up a couple of block shots. Felton Spencer also. I thought Ray Owes did a great job on that end. They lead in block shots 8-1. The Hornets are a better defensive team, perhaps, but it looked like the Warriors were taking care of their inside work early on, with the exception of Mason. Field goal percentage, you know, big problem has been three-point field goal shooting. And if you look at the Charlotte Hornets, 8 for 10. Tony Delk has 3. Glenn Rice has 4 three-pointers in the first half. Warriors are doing pretty well, shooting 53% overall, 5 for 11 from three-point range. Here's the guy that has really done a lot of damage, not only with his scoring, but also with 12 rebounds in the first half. Anthony Mason. And Mason and Rice have combined for 38 points, whereas the Warriors have kind of spread it around. They've got a lot of people contributing. 3 guys in double figures. Joe Smith, the hottest of the Warriors, was 7 for 9 in the first half. Also added 6 rebounds. There's a Mason-Smith comparison. But Joe has to work a little tougher defensively on Anthony Mason and keep him out of the lane. That's where the problems arise. When Anthony Mason gets inside with that strength, he can move you where he wants and just get a little bit of daylight, and he can knock down an 8-footer, as you can see.
And even though we are tied at the half at 59, I think the Warriors have played the better half. The Warriors have outscored Charlotte in the paint 26-12, and usually the team that is scoring closer to the basket is the team that eventually will wear the other club down, Jim, and just win the basketball game.
And what they have to be concerned about, remember, 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. The Warriors were leading 48-41. Over the next 4 minutes, they did not score. Charlotte scored off 13 points in a row. That's where their defense came in, and then all of a sudden, it changed the complexion of the game. Then the Warriors caught back up. We've got a 59-59 tie at the half as we look at the leading scorers, and you can see Smith, 15, Price, Sprewell has picked his spots. Look for Sprewell to open up offensively in the second half, probably get a little more dangerous.
Felton Spencer with 10 minutes in that first half after not playing at all in the last 2 games because of the bruised left big toe. He looked good in spots. Some time, though, he lacked mobility. There was one clear time where Chris Mullen threw the ball to him that he could not get to it, but here he is scoring over George Zedek. Got a nice move across the lane as Felton hit both of his floor shots and scoring 4 points and pulling down 2 rebounds in the first half. It is Todd Fuller who will begin the third quarter as the Warriors center. Warriors scored 37 points in the first quarter. It is 22 in the second. Charlotte 34 in the first, and they cooled off, also scoring just 25 in the second. Right inside to Joe, and he scores easily over Anthony Mason. Mason has not had the impact on this game on the defensive end nearly as much as he's had on the offensive end.
Well, that's because Joe Smith has been hitting from the outside. He'll take what Mason gives him. Mason can get to any spot on the floor in a one-on-one move. Now let's watch him battle inside. Price is giving help. Mason is reluctant to give the ball out.
Forced that one up as he bluffed a pass out to get a single team, then he missed the shot. Price And Sprewell begin in the backcourt. Pass into Footer, poked away by the active Divac. Here's Anthony Goldwire to Tony Smith to Divac, and a foul. It is number 3 on Todd Footer, putting Vlade Divac on the free throw line. Todd played only 8 minutes in the first half, picking up 2 fouls early on.
Well, they may need him for more extended minutes this half. I'm not sure how good Felton Spencer will be, or even if he will return. He was hobbling when he came out of the game late in that second quarter. He did not look good at all on that foot of his.
Hornets are staying in this game with their three-point shooting and their free throw shooting. They have outscored the Warriors at the free throw line 13-4. Here's Price into Mullet, and a foul is going to be called on Glenn Rice as he kicked Mullet and tripped him, picking up his 3rd foul of the game. Warriors are playing a Price-Sprewell backcourt, a front line of Mullen, Smith, and Fuller. The Hornets going with Anthony Goldwire at point for the injured Muggsy Bogues. Tony Smith in the game to guard Sprewell, but he's not done a very good job. Up front they play Mason, Rice, and Divac. 2nd foul of the game on Tony Smith.
Tony Smith is a good defender. That's his assignment tonight. He's not thinking going out and scoring many points, but he wants to slow down Sprewell. And, you know, Sprewell got off a little bit, but for all, I would say that they probably contained him fairly well.
Mullen started very steadily. Chris did not score a field goal until the second quarter. Now he has 3 hoops, one of which is 3 and a free throw, and he has 8 points. Divac, the bluff pass. They double him with Joe Smith, leaving Anthony Mason open. Good rebound by Sprewell. Anthony Mason 0 for 2 to begin the second half. Joe Smith the fade over Mason.
So that's what Mason is forcing Joe to do, is take it away from the basket rather than to the basket. Now, he was successful making that shot in the first half. Let's see if he can regain that form. Mason, see, he'll challenge the big center.
Missed 3 by Anthony Goldwire.
You can see why Anthony Mason leads his team in assists. They just count it into him, and he just kicks it out. It's not as if he's creating everything on his own off the dribble.
Although even more of a point of attack tonight, Jim, because of the Bogues injury. When Bogues is healthy and playing, the offense runs a little differently.
Yes.
They'd like to play more up-tempo. Mason to steal here. Goldwire bumped by Price. Whose ball? Charlotte's ball, and no foul.
Well, that clearly went off Goldwire. I think they were just reluctant to call a foul. Mason knocks it away. Watch this as he gets squeezed in there. There's a foul on Mark Price, first of all. So they just omitted and didn't call it.
And it did go off of Price's foot, looking at the replay. Here's a foul. It is called on Chris Mullen, his 2nd foul of the game. Rick Adelman's Warriors, although they're playing well, we talked to Chris Mullen before the game about it, and he said, we're playing a little better, but we've not quite turned the corner yet. Keep in mind, the Warriors have still only won 2 games all year against clubs with better than 500 records. The Milwaukee Bucks and the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah, that's the difference between these 2 clubs, and we read off the list of teams that this Charlotte Hornet club has beaten. Now, Mark Price should not try to steal the ball on the perimeter.
But he should try to do that. In fact, he was fouled missing that 3 as he went down, and he gets up slowly. Price will be on the line for 3 free throws, followed by Anthony Goldwire. Goldwire's 2nd foul of the game. This will be a costly foul by Goldwire.
Price at the other end reached for the ball. Goldwire went in for a driving layup, and now Price may come out 1 point ahead as a result if he can knock down all 3, which I assume he will do.
He's got the first 2. Price, the all-time leading free throw shooter in the history of the NBA, and number 4 this year at 90%. That was number 2, pardon me. He's got 2 of the first 3, 1 more to go for Price.
A shooter like this mentally, you walk up to the line, you say, I've got 3 more points. You don't even question that you'd miss one. it's automatic for you.
Warriors picking up Goldwire a little bit earlier tonight.
I think
in the second half.
I think they're trying to do that a little bit, just to take him out of the offense and use some time so they can't go into Mason.
Latrell Sprewell called for a foul against the fade of Glenn Rice. Sprewell's second. More importantly, that puts Rice on the line for 2.
We'll have a good angle. I didn't see any. Sprewell is very honest about those things. When he complains, there's usually some validity to it.
Glenn Rice has put up 14 shots tonight. Mason has 13. Just before this 3-game barrage for Glenn Rice, he had a public plea for more shots. Actually went out after the game and complained about a lack of shots. And he has responded the last 3 games, scoring 38, 37, and 27 points. 2 of those games, the Hornets victorious. Rice with his pair now has 20 points, same total as Mason. Warriors lead by a point, though. 3 minutes into the second half. Joe Smith.
Let's see if he can get to the paint. Double team. Oh, what a pass.
Fuller underneath the hoop is fouled by Vlade Divac for Divac, his 3rd foul. But wait a minute, they call a violation against Fuller. A traveling violation against Fuller.
Rick Adelman is very upset. I don't blame him. He was being pushed the entire time. That's Hugh Evans, a veteran official. Strange call.
Now, the reason Fuller traveled is because he was shoved in the back by Divac.
Yeah.
They double Mason. Divac open right down the gut, and he is fouled. And this one will be on Todd Fuller, his 4th foul, so the rookie gets back-to-back rough calls. Here is the traveling violation they called on Todd. Did he travel before the foul?
Maybe he moved
Possibly.
that right foot. But it was a late whistle. That whistle didn't come for quite a time. I tell you, you don't get a break as a rookie unless you are a high-stock heralded rookie. And still then, you have to earn it.
Well, Felton Spencer is going to come in here early, 3rd quarter. Todd Fuller leaves in foul trouble once again. Felton said he could probably go 15 minutes tonight. He played 10 in the first half. We'll see if he can give the Warriors 10 more in the second. Divac gets 1 of the 2. Vlade 4 of 6 from the line tonight. A 67%er coming in. That's what he shot tonight. A Price 3, though. Missing off the left side of the rim. Rebound to Anthony Mason.
Felton Spencer is not nearly as mobile as he was in the first half. He can hardly put any weight on that foot. When he went for a rebound off the missed free throw a minute ago, it was all off 1 foot.
Glenn Rice knocks down a 3, his 5th 3 of the game. He had 4 in the first half. Rice now with a game-high 23 points.
And I think he's 5 for 6 from 3-point range.
Oh, Joe missed a wide-open jam. Price gets it back and puts it in. Well, the basket was still swaying from the missed dunk by Joe. Price nailed it. Hornets with a 1-point lead. The Hornets tonight are playing game 1 of a 5-game, 8-day road trip. Oh, nice play, Divac and Rice. Vlade Divac, one of the best passing big men in all of basketball. Delivered that one perfectly. Glenn Rice having a huge quarter. He's already scored 7 points in this quarter. We played under 5 minutes.
The Warriors have some problems with Felton Spencer defending Divac. That's a long shot missed by Mullen. Watch Divac to go to the top on the perimeter because Felton cannot cover down low and come back out again. He just doesn't have that mobility right now.
They got to get somebody on Rice. Nobody can test that shot at all. Glenn Rice with 9 points in the first 5 minutes and 17 seconds of 3rd quarter play. He now has a game-high 27, and the Hornets lead by 5.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
Well, right now we got some problems. Now watch Felton Spencer as he picks up Glenn Rice coming in to the middle here. Somehow the telestrator is not writing. Now we have it. Okay, now him coming back out, Glenn Rice goes inside. Because Felton Spencer doesn't have the mobility.
Warriors have been outscored 10-2 in the last 2.5 minutes of play. Spencer cannot go and get that high throw by Mullen, and the Warriors turn it right back over. Right now, the big problem for the Warriors is Glenn Rice, as he has scored 7 points in a row. There's a miss. Joe Smith lost the rebound, but it goes out to Mullen. Here's Joe Smith knocking it down. Joe with 19 points tonight. Shooting the ball extremely well, having little problem with the usually rugged defense of Anthony Mason, but not tonight. Divac playing a high post like he normally does, but even more so now with Spencer hobbled by that bad foot. Now he's going to spin on him and kick it out. Anthony Goldwire for a three-pointer. Rebound to Mullen. Mullen picked up by Tony Smith now, and Rice is on Springwell. Springwell should be able to take him. Out to Price for a long three. Here's Anthony Mason. Glenn Rice beyond the Mason screen. And the Hornets will come again. Into Vlade, right through the wickets.
Well, right now, the Warriors are fortunate that Anthony Goldwire is missing from three-point range. Over 44% this year. He's just not making them tonight. And Glenn Rice is pulling the trigger anytime at all.
And he's scoring on Latrell Sprewell. This just simply may not be a good matchup for Spree. Glenn Rice is just too long and too tall at 6'8". Actually, Chris Mullen was guarding him much more effectively when Mullen had him in the second quarter. We'll see if Adelman switches that up. 5 minutes to go, third quarter. Joe Smith gives Sprewell a pick, and Sprewell pops an early three and barely hit the rim. Curious decision by Sprewell.
I think he knew he was getting fouled on the play. Didn't get the call. But the Warriors, you know, that three-point line can help you. It can really hurt you. Right now, I think they should forget about it and try to get something to the basket and get themselves on the line at least.
Divac playing the high post and nailing the outside shots. A double-double for Divac tonight. 12 points, 10 rebounds. There's Price. Warriors 5 on 4s. Goldwire was going for a steal to the backcourt, and Price popped it with Goldwire late to get back defensively.
And Price did the right thing. I'm just surprised he didn't stop from three-point range now. I like the judgment that he used. He knows that people have been pulling the trigger quickly from behind that line, so he took it in to see what he could get and got a better shot.
Warriors not doubling Mason yet, and now they do with Spencer. Now he goes back on to Divac. Shot clock at 1. Mason not aware of it. That's a 24-second violation. Anthony Mason fell asleep.
Are you ready for this? I read a scouting report on Anthony Mason, and the first thing it said, his game, said loves to pound the ball, and he'll finally throw it out with 1 second left on the 24-second clock, and then glare at his teammate when he misses the shot coming down court. There's a perfect example.
Joe Smith over Mason. And all this pounding the ball that Mason is doing, I think, is taken away from his defense. He has not been the intimidating force tonight. He looks like he's much more concerned about playing offense.
And he hasn't scored in the second half. You can see he's determined to do it.
Rice, and now they do put Mullen on to Rice, and Mullen bumps him. Rice is not a very quick player off the dribble, and even though Rice gets around Mullen, Mullen can recover to get him from behind.
Now watch Felton. Watch how long it takes him to get down, and then he just cannot move back out. He's trying to get to spots. He's giving his best effort, and that's why they're leaving Vlade Divac up top. Because if they go deep in the hole and they double with Felton and it goes to Divac, Divac is going to have an 18, 19-foot shot.
And against some centers, that lack of mobility would not be a huge problem, but against Divac it is.
Yes.
Vlade is one of the best shooting big men, passing big men, and moving big men in the NBA. Rice came into the game the league's 14th best scorer. Last year he was number 12 at virtually the same average, 21.6 points per game. Tonight, Glenn Rice has gone for 29, including 11 in the third quarter. Here's Sprewell slipping inside. A beautiful pass by Mullen, and an equally fine finish by Latrell.
Yeah, Smith did not give up on the play. Luttrell had to take it up and beyond the outstretched arms.
Springwell, the NBA's number 4 scorer, just 12 in the game, and that's the first hoop he has scored in his third quarter. Here's Mason getting very deep. Good help by Mullen and Joe Smith. Got a paw right in the Mason's face, but Anthony still banked it down. Mason's first 2 points of the second half after scoring 20 in the first half.
That was a strength move. A strength finish, anyway.
Foul from behind, rookie Tony Delp trying to take it away from Springwell. Timeout called by Dave Cowens and the Hornets. We have a good one tonight. Late third quarter, the Warriors trail by 3. Undeniably the best player in college basketball this year, and next year's #1 pick in the NBA draft is Tim Duncan. But a very solid number 2 this year is going to be Keith Van Horn. Good-looking, sharp-shooting small forward from Utah, and he'll be on display Saturday night as his number 5 Utes will take on the BYU Cougars right here on Sports Channel at 7.
Warriors are trying to make a concerted effort to get Latrell Sprewell involved here at the bottom. And look at the spacing. Mullen is beyond the three-point line. Price is set up here. Joe Smith is out here, and you have Felton on the other side. Now watch, when Mullen gets the ball, he's looking one direction only, and that's where Sprewell makes that move in there to seal off so he can curl in, and the pass from Mullen. This is a called play and virtually impossible to stop as Mullen fed the pass in on the bounce, and Latrell sealed off with his body on Tony Smith.
Although Mullen is not scoring much tonight, just 8 points, he has contributed 6 assists and 6 rebounds. Maybe back-to-back triple-doubles for Chris. He had his 4th career Friday. Now pops over Rice, and the rebound to Tony Smith. 2 minutes, 15 seconds to play third quarter in San Jose, where the Hornets lead the Warriors by 3. Tony Delp, 16th overall pick in round 1.
Joe Smith fighting a little bit. Now he's fronting. That helps.
And now they swarm Mason. 3 guys, but he finds Divac. Anthony Mason maybe on his way to his 2nd career triple-double. He already has the points and rebounds by far. He's 4 assists away. From the corner, Sprewell, well defended by Tony Smith. Spencer tips the rebound out of bounds, and it will be Charlotte ball. Dave Cowens, not only a Hall of Fame player, but one of the top 50 players in the history of the NBA. A.J. Armstrong is in. Likewise, Bimbo Coles, as Mullen and Mark Price sit down.
You know, Dave Cowens is one of 25 Hall of Famers to become a head coach in the league. Can Delk hit his 4th? No.
Hall of Fame players. Lenny Wilkins, of course, a Hall of Fame player and also a Hall of Fame coach, the youngest coach in the history of the NBA. Usually great players do not become great coaches or managers. But the book is that Cowens is a relentless worker, much like his playing career. He actually watched 8 hours of tape on the Warriors flying out here yesterday. Anthony Mason fouled inside as the pass was made up the floor. Latrell Sprewell had to race back, and he was forced to pick up his 3rd foul. Rick Adelman knows he has a problem right now. The Hornets are up 5 with Mason on the line for 2 more free throws.
That was a long flight.
They stopped twice to refuel and missed the entire Carolina Panther victory yesterday over the Cowboys, which was not a popular decision in the locker room. They wanted the team to actually fly out Saturday night so they could watch the football game.
No one picked up Glenn Rice underneath, or excuse me, Anthony Mason, until it was too late. Look at this unorthodox free throw, though, by Anthony Mason. Del Curry comes in. This left hand of his, one-handed all the way.
It's worked tonight. He's made 9 out of 10. He was taught that free throw starting last year as a Knick by both Don Nelson and Gary Bourne. Remember, Gary was the former Warrior free throw coach when Nelson was here, and Nelson had him in New York.
Yeah, we saw him down in Dallas. What a save.
Joe Smith got the ball over the end line, and he does call a timeout before he lost the possession. A 20-second timeout called by Adelman. with 52 seconds remaining in this third quarter.
Let's watch the save as it did not go over the end line. Now, he was simply falling out of bounds. Anthony Mason thought about pushing, but didn't need to.
We've got women's NCAA basketball every Sunday here on Sports Channel. This week, the Vanderbilt Commodores will host the Arkansas Razorbacks. That'll be 4 o'clock this Sunday on Sports Channel.
I was watching the Richmond Rage and the San Jose Lasers today on ESPN earlier this morning.
Jackie Joyner-Kersee was in that game. How about Kate Starbird last night at a 37? Big game as the Cardinals keep on rolling. Sprewell a three! But Tony Smith draped all over him. Sprewell made a mid-air three. A tough shot for Spree.
They needed that.
Good. Warriors now within 3.
Yeah, the last 3 minutes of this quarter, the last 4 minutes, I would say, Charlotte's basically controlled it.
There goes Mason. Just getting too deep, Anthony Mason. Devon's for tip, no. Rebound out to Spree. Warriors race out. Sprewell going to go all by. It was no basket. A foul on the floor. Called on the Hornets.
Well, fortunately, that puts them over the limit. Now, Sprewell got this ball with about 25, 26 seconds left in the quarter. Last time down, it was a three-pointer. Tough shot as his defender came on his shooting hand side. But when Sprewell gets these kinds of openings, a lot of players would back off from that, but that is where he thrives. He's at his best if he can get into the open court and find a little bit of daylight.
Now, when you were watching the ABL yesterday, did you see Jackie Joyner-Kersee in the game at all? Was she in when you were watching?
No.
This morning?
This morning.
I wonder if she's as quick against the females as Sprewell is. Sprewell is just flying by people. Who's quicker than Sprewell right now in the NBA from end line to end line? Iverson obviously is very, very quick, but Sprewell has really found another gear.
Well, the thing about Spree is he gets under control and then finishes.
Jim was actually watching a replay of that game that was first broadcast yesterday on Sports Channel. 10 seconds to go, third quarter. The Warriors, a late quarter run here, have trimmed the lead down to 1 as they have scored the last 5 points. Mason out to Delp. Spencer to Coles. They're not going to get a shot up in time, but we'll end the third quarter. Devos felt the ball was kicked by the Warriors, but no call. Warriors rallied late in that third quarter and make it a very tight basketball game as we head to the final 12 in San Jose. Hornets 82, Warriors 81. Well, the Warriors and Hornets were lighting it up in the first quarter. They have cooled off since. It has been a tight basketball game virtually the whole way. And we'll enter the final 12 with the Warriors up only 1 point. After tonight, the Warriors have a home-and-home with the Vancouver Grizzlies Wednesday here in San Jose, and then Thursday up at GM Place. Then the Warriors are off for a 5-game road trip, though 3 of those games will be very winnable at Boston, Philly, and Minnesota. And the Warriors are next at home on the 21st of January to take on the struggling Dallas Mavericks.
Well, 6 of the next 8 games on the road, but they are against sub-500 teams, as you say, and certainly winnable games.
Warriors coming in with a record of 12 and 18 right now, just off a playoff spot, slightly behind the dramatically improved LA Clippers. They've had some nice wins recently. Tony Delk at 3. Right back to Delk for 2 when he knocks it down. Tony Delk was the MVP of their Final Four championship last year at Kentucky. He was also the most outstanding player in the Midwest Regional. So he was a big part of that Wildcat club, but certainly they did it with a team effort. They had 3 #1 picks this past year. Delk, number 16, Antoine Walker, number 6 to Boston. And later on, Walter McCarty went number 19 to the Knickerbockers. Hornets a 3-point lead with Delk playing a lot at point guard tonight. Delk had a very poor preseason, having a hard time making the transition from a combo guard for Patino and the Wildcats, played both point and off, to being strictly a point in the NBA.
See, again, they're looking, if Felton Spencer comes down, now he gets a nice block as Joe Smith needed help, but they're looking for that combination Anthony Mason and Roddy Divac and using Spencer as the bait.
Shot clock down to 2, Jim. The Hornets have to hustle. Inbounders Rice, right to Curry. Yeah, rebound to Divac. He is fouled. That's a tough break for the Warriors. They have allowed the Hornets to get too many offensive rebounds tonight. That is their 12th offensive rebound of the game. And they have a 6-rebound edge on the Warriors, and that is a surprise. The Hornets coming into the game out-rebounded by about 2.5 boards per game. Divac led the Lakers in rebounding each of the last 4 years. Right now he is number 2 on this team behind Mason at almost 9 a game. Lottie 16 points, 12 rebounds tonight. Anthony Mason 23 points and 16 rebounds. The Hornets a 5-point lead. 1 minute into the final quarter. Sprewell into Felton Spencer. Good look. Hard shot though, and Felton will be on the line for only 2 free throws, Jim. He likely could have dunked that ball. He appeared close enough, and his shot he just breaks.
I think right now Felton shouldn't even think about dunking. He didn't think about dunking on this play, but this is a basket. He was concerned about Anthony Mason, and he just simply lost concentration. You could see his eyes went away from the hoop, and they were to Mason. That should have been a conversion.
Got the first free throw, and he gets the second. So he gets out of it with the 2 points. Warriors playing their backup backcourt. Bimbo Coles and B.J. Armstrong. Adelman's been bringing them into the game tonight simultaneously, both first half and second half. Curry a 3. Good tough rebound by Anthony Mason. Out to Delp. He bombs a 3 short. Rebound pulled by Joe Smith. Sprewell. Right for the 3-point line. Tie game at 86.
He comes bounding down, and Mason starts retreating, and he just comes into that 2-foot plant. It's almost like a deer bounding over a fence, trying to get out of the garden.
Rice answers right back with a 2-pointer just inside the line. 31 for Glenn Rice.
I don't know if you have deer in Danville bounding over fences. We do a lot in Orinda.
Are you kidding me? I can't get them off my property.
Get rid of those roses.
I am getting rid of them thanks to the deer. Sprewell fouled. No, not fouled. Went up for a 3, and he missed the shot. When you first move out there, you're so captivated by him, you don't want to. Then you don't want to ever leave. Now you can't get rid of him. Rice right down the gut.
They can't get rid of Rice.
Oh. And he's not playing like Bambi tonight, Jim. This guy has a toughness to his game and a great outside shot. This guy is simply underrated. He is a deadly scorer.
Well, they lost Alonzo Mourning, but they picked up a great talent in Glenn Rice.
Here goes Joe Smith. Warriors down 4. Need a hoop here. And Joe will not quite get it over the rim. Mason a little tougher on defense now. Tony Delp playing well at point guard tonight. 11 points, 4 rebounds. And into Divac, he squirts out the weak side, picking up a foul on Felton Spencer. Felton has already played 21 minutes tonight. That's foul number 3.
Just beautiful ball movement here. Glenn Rice comes around. Watch Divac go, and watch the give and go. Now stop it right here. Joe Smith comes over, so there's the open man in the open lane. The return to Glenn Rice.
Back live, Lottie Divac misses a left wing 18-footer. Rebound off the right side, pulled by Joe Smith. Warriors down 4. Here goes Sprewell. B.J. Armstrong. B.J. only 1 basket, 3 points. Sprewell right back up. There goes Divac. Big first step. Traveling.
He got a little Charlie horse by Felton Spencer after the violation. He comes up a little gimpy on that right leg. He just caught the ball on the wrong foot.
Cowens has seen his Hornets tighten up the defense in the 4th quarter. The Warriors have missed 5 of 6 shots this quarter. Hornets have outscored them 8-5 to go from 1 up to 4 up.
And Sprewell had a very good look from just inside the line last time down.
Offensive set a bit muddied here. Now they travel. The spacing on that set was not good. Players almost running into each other.
Exactly. That's what I was seeing. They had no idea who was going to do what.
Early timeout called by Rick Adelman, a wise one here. They want to get Mullen and Price back in a little earlier than usual for this fourth quarter. Man, is that ever big news, Brian, and that'll be big money. How much will the LA Dodgers and Dodger Stadium go for? At least $350 million or so, huh? Maybe Vlade Divac will buy the Dodgers, huh?
Maybe he'd like to go back to LA. Let's watch what happens on this last play. I'm not so sure that he traveled. You really can't see here. He had the right foot. He took, legitimately can have 1.5 steps. Now, I don't know whether he picked the ball up when it went to his left foot or when it went to his right foot, but that looked like pretty good footwork to the finish, and I think it may have been missed by the officials.
Well, they need Divac to play down the stretch. He and Mason have combined to pull 32 of Charlotte's 42 rebounds. They have a 7-rebound edge. Bryce turns and misses. Big board by Felton Spencer. Felton still out there. Told me before the game he could play about 15 minutes. Well, he's played 23. No Andrew DeClerc in the second half. Sprewell. Incidentally, Mullen is back in. Mark Price has not yet returned. Big hoop from Sprewell.
Well, that was a set play. Now, they were scattered before, and just going with a passing game one-on-one, we're not getting it done, executing.
There's a foul on Ray O's. They hold on the rookie. Ray is now in, replacing Joe Smith and defending Anthony Mason. Warriors are playing with Bimbo Coles and Latrell Sprewell in the backcourt. VJ's left the game. Up front, Mullen, O's, and Spencer.
Mason really using his body against Ray O's.
Well, Divac looked to give it up when he had a shot. They want to get the ball to Rice, as you would expect. A little hard on that one. Rebound, O's tips out to Sprewell. Almost traveled, but kept the ball long enough, and then Delk ran into him. Sprewell, 22 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds tonight.
Glenn Rice missed this shot, but watch Ray O's. Now, see, Felton Spencer helps out. You see the quickness of O's? He's not as strong as Anthony Mason, but if he can be around the vicinity where the ball comes in, he'll probably be the first man to get a hand on it.
Anthony Mason, who leads the NBA in minutes played, even more than Sprewell, has already played 41 minutes. And he'll take the rest here. George Zedek is in. Sprewell. Oh, what a shot over Glenn Rice. Sprewell is simply having a magnificent season. Foul on Bimbo Coles. Way up top on Tony Delk. For Coles, his 3rd violation of the game. For the Warriors, already their 4th team foul. So the Hornets were under the bonus earlier. Check this one out, Jim. Very Michael Jordan-like.
Yeah, it's a very tough shot. And one thing about turning that way, you don't have to square up all the way because you're right-handed. A lot of players utilize that little trick.
Mullen came out of it with the ball. Sprewell. Well, he's in a big hurry. A little too quick that time. Rebound out to Rice. Curry's off the floor in the corner. Rice goes to Delk.
He shot a knuckleball.
In honor of Phil Niekro making the Hall of Fame today. 6 minutes to go. 92-90 Charlotte. Hornets are 17 and 14 in playoff position in the East, where you're going to need a better than 500 record, it appears. Warriors just out of the playoffs in the West with a 12 and 18 mark. Good catch by Bimbo Coles. Shot clock down. Sprewell's going to have to gun a 3. Shot clock at 1 when he fired. Mark Price is going to come back into the game. The Warriors need him in the game. Joe Smith will also be re-entering next stoppage of play. One of the few times they're going to post Divac now with Mason off the floor. Delk into Zedek. Foul. Those 2 free throws fouled by Felton Spencer. Number 4 on Felton. He's going to leave for the evening now. He gave the Warriors 25 pretty strong minutes tonight, though. Playing 15 of those 25, Jim, on a clearly bad toe in the second half.
He surprised me. He did more than I thought he could, and real gutsy effort. I'm trying to remember. Has Zedek played alongside Divac earlier in the game at all?
No.
I didn't think so. They've gone to this two-center lineup now. Just a little change-up for Dave Cowens.
This is their Eastern European look. Going with Zedek from Czechoslovakia alongside Divac from Yugoslavia. Big lineup. They have been playing a lot of Divac and Matt Geiger together, but Matt Geiger out to injury. Geiger has a herniated disc in his back. He'll be out for at least a couple of more weeks, if not longer. 12-point game as Zedek knocked down both free throws. Warriors trailing with 5 minutes to play. Good pick by Ray Owes. Late foul call on the floor against the Hornets. It's on Zedek, his third. They looked into dealing Zedek to Vancouver for Greg Anthony and also possibly to Milwaukee for Joe Wolf, but no trade. Well, you think the Hornets may need to pick up a point guard, but Chauncey Bogues physically a major question mark. Well, and then an open look, missed the shot.
He missed it badly. He certainly doesn't have the same eye that he had the other night.
Curry lost the ball. Foul on the Warriors, a late call. Referee Benny Adams makes the call. Benny Adams, a former replacement referee who made the NBA's regular rotation. He calls Sprewell for his fourth foul.
Curry just rotates in the middle, a little hesitation.
Well, he reached.
Yeah, exactly. That's the key thing. He didn't make an attempt to move in with his feet, and he reached.
Boy, quiet game for Del Curry. He is their second best scorer behind Rice, almost 16 points a game.
But that's what's scary. They really haven't needed him. And that can change quickly with Del Curry.
Game was tied at 90. It's a 6-0 Hornet run now to go up by 6. Warriors need to score here. Oh, big basket. A left-hand bank by Joe. Joe has had a quieter second half. That's his first hoop of the fourth quarter. After 15 of the first half, he has 23 for the game.
That was a magnificent shot. I'd hate to have to rely on it all the time.
Good defense by Joe against the center Divac.
Warriors need to find someone spotting up in transition. Spree? No.
Maybe not yet. I think he's going to fire it anyway. Almost traveled. Kept the back foot down. Owes. Joe Smith, shot clock 5. Got to go on Divac. Blocked. Owes at the buzzer. Rebound Del Curry. 3.5 minutes to play.
This is a big defensive sequence right now.
Cowens knows it. Adelman knows it. Cowens calls a Hornet timeout here. It will be a 20-second stoppage of play. A lot of people raised eyebrows when the Hornets turned to Dave Cowens this past summer. They wanted to hire George Karl away from Seattle, and George Karl clearly wanted to go to Charlotte. George was a collegiate star for the North Carolina Tar Heels under Dean Smith. But they took a poll of the season ticket holders, Jim, after they couldn't get George Karl, and they revealed in Charlotte that winning was not as important to them as seeing the team play consistently hard. And they knew if they got Dave Cowens to be their head coach, he would make the Hornets play hard.
Yeah, and they're doing some of the things they haven't seen before. Playing much better defense. As we mentioned earlier, their opposition field goal percentage is down about 4+ percentage points this year. It's a team that finished it. You know, remember 2 years ago, they won 50 games back in 94, 95.
That's when they had both Mourning and LJ. They traded Mourning last year and won 41. Still missed the playoffs by a game. Ironically beaten out by Mourning and his new team, Miami. Foul on Ray Owes. For Ray, his third of the game. The Hornets were not defending very well early in the game, but lately they have been. In fact, the Warriors have scored just 2 points in the last 3.5 minutes of play.
That's that same stretch I was talking about in the second quarter from the 7-minute mark down to the 3-minute mark when the Warriors went scoreless. All of a sudden, shots difficult to come by.
And you know when the game has turned, when they brought George Zedek in, and Anthony Mason is still sitting on the Hornet bench. I thought it was for a rest. He may watch the remainder of this game. We have 3:14 to go. If he's not back in right now, he may not be coming back in. Interesting call by Dave Collins.
Quite change up if they don't relinquish the lead. But if this game gets tied, I think you'll see Anthony Mason.
Mark Price is fouled by Tony Delk. Delk's fourth foul of the game. Collins going with a Divac Zedek front line, playing two big men together. Lottie at 7-1 and Zedek also at 7-1.
Well, Zedek getting more minutes because, as you mentioned, Matt Geiger out. And he was complaining about the lack of minutes last year even. And here comes Anthony. So let's see, how long did he sit out? Sit out about 3 minutes.
That's eternity for Anthony Mason. Anthony Mason actually complained last year about playing time when he was a member of the New York Knicks, and he led the league in minutes played at over 42. You just can't figure him out. You love his fieriness, but sometimes he's just very frustrating. Oh, what a play by Sprewell. Sprewell, Delk tried to foul him, but did not get the foul. He tipped the ball away. Now Sprewell for three. What a play by Sprewell to miss the shot. Spencer back into Mullen. Warriors need to score here. They're down just 3.
Oh, Joe was all alone on the other side. They just couldn't find him. Tough to throw it through a crowd.
Now Sprewell is fouled on the way to the basket. He beat Tony Smith easily. 2 Hornets slid over to help both Divac and Mason. And the foul is called on Tony Smith. So Sprewell will be on the line, Jim, when we come back.
And what a great defensive stop he put at the other end. Warriors down by 3, 2:37 to go. Watch Sprewell as he just picks Glenn Rice. Rice was preoccupied with a double team, and Sprewell picked him clean. Came down. Here's what you got. A missed 3. Now watch this. Stop it right here. If we stop it here, Mullen has Divac. There's a defender in Anthony Mason. Here's Glenn Rice. Nobody is picking up Joe Smith. Rice finally sees him, but they couldn't get the ball to him. And it would have been a tough pass. That's clear across the court. And just because the guy's open, it's almost like a quarterback going to a wide receiver. There may be too much traffic between the two.
Sprewell on the line for 2 here, trying to cut the lead down to 1 that Charlotte now enjoys. Sprewell had that huge fourth quarter against Philly here on Friday night when he scored 18 points. Tonight he has scored 7 in the fourth quarter, although he has shot just 3 of 8 from the floor in the fourth quarter. Sprewell with 25 points has better to scoring average coming in, and he only had 12 midway through the third quarter. Sprewell gets both. It's a 1-point game with 2.5 to go. Hornets have it first. Delk, the point guard, Tony Smith. The big guard front line is Mason, Rice, and Divac.
What was an explosive offensive game? Looks like it'll come down to defense.
Anthony Mason fouled. Felton Spencer goes down hard, backpedaling over the fallen Joe Smith. Joe is still down. He's all right. Likewise for Felton. Foul is called. It is the 5th of the game on Felton Spencer.
Now this is worth a look. This is pretty good team defense. Look at Joe come over and give help. Now I'm telling you right now, Spencer was in position, and the elbow of Anthony Mason, his right elbow, went right to the chops, right to the chin of Felton. I don't understand how they can make this call. Let's see if he reaches in. Well, they must have called a block, but it looks like to me that Anthony Mason fended off with the elbow.
Anthony Mason has tied his season high now with 25 points, and he is only 5 away from his career high 3-point game. Warriors really need to score on this possession. Joe Smith slips it. Oh, Sprewell threw it away. He overthrew. Joe Smith, Divac to Rice. This one's going to hurt. Latrell Sprewell overthrew Joe Smith as Joe slipped the pick and roll, had a step on his man, and Spree just threw it away.
Well, it's disaster, but no need to panic. There still is time, plenty of time. This shocks me here, that they would go to Felton Spencer in a one-on-one move.
Again, the offense a little bit congested, as it was not real smooth when they got the ball into Felton, but he was fouled by Vlade Divac. Vlade's fourth, so Felton's on the line for 2. Spencer has hit 2 of 3 previous free throws tonight. Not a very good free thrower, 57%, but he gets the first one.
He's been pretty good tonight. He missed his first. That's when he first entered the game early on and got fouled after he made a field goal, but didn't complete the three-point play, but he has been perfect since.
3-point game. 100 seconds to go in San Jose. Here's the rookie, Tony Dell. Price bumps him, rides him. Into Mason.
Let him play it straight up. And no fouls.
Here's Rice. Lost the ball, picks it up, then puts it in the basket. 37 points for Glenn Rice. What a 4-game run for Rice. 38, 37, 27, and now 37 more. Sprewell. Big board by Rice. Warriors down 5, are in trouble now.
Yeah, this is a real hole.
Timeout called by Collins and the Hornets. They have the ball. They have a 5-point lead with 1 minute and 12 seconds to salt away. Warriors down 5 with 1:12 to play. Speaking of 5, how about the Warrior 5-packs? 5 games for only $100. 4 different plans to choose from. Michael Jordan, the Bulls are one. Shaquille O'Neal, the Lakers, another. And Charles Barkley and the Rockets, a 3rd plan. A 4th plan, only weekend games. Call the Warriors, 986-2222.
You still don't need to foul.
Divac, big miss. Price, the rebound. A minute to go, down 5.
Price going to look for a shot.
They block it from behind. They foul him. He'll have 3 free throws.
I knew that he was going to look for a shot. He's on his game tonight, and he hasn't seen the ball in the last 2 or 3 minutes. And the Warriors have been missing, been out of sync. And I think at that timeout, he probably talked to somebody. I could tell he was upset.
Well, Tony Smith went for the block on Price, and he fouled him from behind.
And this is a shot that normally Mark Price would pass out, because he forced that shot knowing Smith was coming to his shooting hand.
Well, he knew the urgency of the situation. Down 5 with a minute to go in transition. Go to the line. And now he is on the line. Made the first free throw. Made the second free throw. Price 7 for 7 from the line tonight. 21 points.
With this one, he can bring him right back into the game. That is a huge mistake by Tony Smith.
With the clock not moving, Mark Price makes 3 free throws. It's a 2-point game. Price on Tony Dell. Into Anthony Mason.
No double.
Not yet. Now they swarm him. They foul him. Mason's on the line. Fouled by Felton Spencer. Felton's gone. He is fouled out of the game after 27 minutes of play. Anthony Mason on the line for 2.
Again, see, here's the mobility. Just hurt Felton Spencer.
Warriors are not doubling him until he makes a move. He's so quick, though, before he could be doubled or tripled, he already was on the line.
I thought Felton would be able to keep him away from the basket. He just simply wasn't able to shove off that foot. It's his right foot which is sore. Is that correct? You can see.
No, it's his left.
It's his left foot.
Divac and Mullen are in conversation here, along with referee Hugh Evans. It's more playful than anything. Ray Owes replaces the disqualified Spencer. Anthony Mason.
He's 11 for 12 tonight.
12 out of 13. It is a season-best performance for Mason. 26 points, 18 rebounds.
Well, let's see what the Warriors do. They're going to have 40.5 seconds. So they could get a quick shot and still trade 2 for 1. They're going to get a timeout. 4. They'll get it at half court.
Down 4 as Mason made 2 more free throws. Anthony Mason has made 13 of 14 free throws tonight. Somewhere in Maui, Don Nelson is smiling. Warriors have won their last 3 here in San Jose and 7 of their last 9, but they're on the ropes tonight. Charlotte Hornets have a 4-point lead. 40.5 seconds remain. Big night for several people. Glenn Rice, 37. Anthony Mason, 27. They have combined to score 64 of Charlotte's 105. And in the final quarter, they have scored 12 of their 23 points. And between the two of them, they have hit 19 of 20 from the free throw line. 13 of 14 made by Anthony Mason. Warriors have big nights from Sprewell, Smith, and Price. The Warriors, Jim, are down 4. They have the ball here. They're going to have to score within the next 10 seconds to make sure they get the ball back one more time.
Exactly. And you remember the play that we illustrated earlier when Sprewell was lined up underneath and they isolated everybody else on the perimeter? That wouldn't be a bad play, because I think you need to go to the basket. The Hornets do not want to foul. You need to get to the basket quickly.
Mullen not being guarded. Throws for Price. O's a pick. Price into O's. Ball tips. And out of bounds was ball. Charlotte's ball. Big defensive play made by Tony Delk in the corner. The Warriors tried to get a 3 for Price. It was taken away. They tried to roll it into O's, and that too was taken away. Now they must foul or steal. They may not have time to do either. They don't. They do. Delk did not go in for a layup. He passed the ball over to Divac. The Warriors foul Divac. Joe Smith does with 27 seconds to go. And the Warriors are already down 4. Divac can make it 6.
Well, this is going to be a tough one for Rick.
The Hornets have only missed 4 free throws all night. Warriors are the best free throw shooting club in the NBA, and the Hornets are number 3. Warriors are down 6. They need 2 threes and a stop in between. Here's the first possession. Mark Price. Nope. Oh, Joe Smith, pardon me, out of bounds. It is Warrior ball still. Joe Smith able to tip that rebound off of Anthony Mason. 19.5 seconds to go.
You need 2 threes and you need a little bit of luck. And it just, well, it was tipped. I thought it ran out. It did run out.
It did run out. The Warriors turned the ball over. Mullen threw it away, trying to get it into Sprewell, and that may end the game. Anthony Mason will inbound in the backcourt. We want the ball in the hands of Rice. Warriors will wrap him up with 17 seconds left. Rice, one of the best free throwers in the league.
Career 84%.
And this year 85%. He has made all 6 of his free throws. He is on a great roll right now, Glenn Rice. The last 4 games, monster numbers. And he's also been free throwing out of his mind the last 4, including the night for Dave Cowens. He has made 38 of his last 41 free throws. He spoke out after a recent loss that he wanted more shots. Well, they've given the ball to him, and he has responded. 38, 37, 27, and tonight 38 more points. Right now he's the hottest player in the NBA. Hornets up 8, and they will win this game tonight here in San Jose and take their record to 18-14. A lot of preseason publications picked them to finish number 7, Jim, in the Central Division. 8 clubs are in that Central. They figure they were only better than Toronto, but they are one of the most pleasant surprises in the NBA. Dave Cowens, and they've won a first year in Charlotte.
Yep, they've evened their record on the road at 9-9. That is very respectable.
And they dropped the Warriors to 8-9 here in San Jose. The Warrior 3-game home winning streak is over, and the Hornets fall to 12-19. Charlotte, like the Carolina Panthers of the NFL, Brian, they are shocking the NBA as they beat the Warriors here by 8 points.